Hey guys, welcome to the Field of 68 YouTube channel. If you like what you see here, hit that subscribe button and you'll get more college basketball content just like this.
It was pretty much the epitome of everything that I love about this stupid sport that we all pay so much, invest so much time and pay so much attention to, right? Houston is up by 16 at halftime. Baylor comes out and makes a run all the way back. They tie the game at a very nice 69 with 4.5 seconds left. Eve Missy steps to the free throw line, misses the game-winning free throw, right? You come back, Jamal Shed bangs home a game-winning three, which ends up getting waved off because it came after the whistle. In the overtime, Eve Missy misses a layup, has a ball squirted out of his hands, commits an offensive goaltending on a shot that was going to go in, and Houston goes on to find a way to win in overtime. It was messy. It was weird. It was entertaining. There were times and it was really high-level shot making. There were times where it looked like neither of these teams had ever practiced the sport of basketball before in their entire lives. Jeff, what is your biggest takeaway from Houston's thrilling 82-76 win over Baylor in Waco?
That they can score, that they can score. I still worry about them offensively. So when I see, Sharp get going, and we know Shed and Cryer can get it going. That's not the question. But when you add a couple other dudes, and Roberts gave them something down low tonight, which I think they need. Again, I know it's always Houston's bigs. What do? They rebound, they screen, they run the court, they finish, but they're not offensive options. Well, they got to give them something offensively. They got to give them a little bit more than they've been giving them. And again, I've said all year with Arsenal going down early, I felt like Emmanuel Sharp was the X factor for them, and he delivered today.
Randolph?
I agree, Jeff. I think Roberts has to be the guy on that front line to give them some scoring. But backcourt wise, I think Sharp is showing us. Emmanuel Sharp is showing us he can be that third consistent perimeter scorer for those guys. And we've said it earlier this year. They're better offensively than they've been in years past, and better offensively than they were last year. They're still the same tough defensive team, but this team has much more offensive firepower, which is why I think this team is better equipped to make a run in the tournament, unlike last year where they were just relying on those two guards scoring. And I think this team has a chance to because of the way they defend. We know they're going to defend their tails off, but on the offensive end of the floor, they can score. And when they need to give the ball give it to guys to make shots, they got guys that can make plays, make shots. Going into Baylor and getting a win, it didn't matter how ugly it was, or you're not winning many games in Waco. You got to go in there and do what you can. And this team just fought their ass off. We knew they would. And it just validated to me what I already thought in Houston. It was a big test. Had they lost the game, we wouldn't have batted an eye and said anything negative about it. No shame of losing the game. But this team fought their ass off, and it's why we think they're as good as they are.
Yeah. Jamal, you mentioned Juwan Roberts. 17 points, 8 boards, 6 steals, 4 assists, 3 blocks. That dude does not get anywhere near enough credit for how good and impactful he is on a college basketball game. Like, he is the reason why Houston can play the way they want to play is because dudes like Juwan Roberts exist. And it feels like every single year they got another one of these dudes that ends up being Juwan Roberts coming out of the woodwork. Just wait for Javier Francis next season. When Juwan Roberts ends up moving on. And then they got JoJo Tugler, and they got a said Locke coming up that didn't even play tonight. They just a never-ending string of 6'9" junkyard dogs with 7'5" wingspans. And it's just like, where do you find these people? You got the blueprint. You're making them in a factory somewhere down in Houston. I know you are, Kelvin Samson. RC, I want to ask you this. Jamal Shed, 12 points, 10 assists. Where does he rank in terms of best point guards in college basketball to you? Because I think that the conversation surrounding him is not I think you can make a very strong argument that he should be a first-team All-American this year. And I don't think that's something that people are saying enough of.
I told you when we talked about this before, he's one of the best two-way guards in the country. I mean, there's other guys that can score it, but you're not going to do that against him. And he spends so much energy on the defensive end of the floor. There's not many. I think he's a better offensive player than Reese Beekman, but he reminds me of a guy like Reese Beekman at Virginia. I mean, just a really good two-way player. I just think he's a better offensive player. And we talked about Virginia earlier, and not to lament them, but they're in the position that they're in because of the leadership and the two-way play of a guy like Reese Beekman. Shed allows Houston to be where they are right now. And then with these other guys stepping up, it just enhances their ceiling. But I'll take him over any two-way guard you can name point guard wise in the country. And I got no complaints about it. And I'll line up with you any day of the week and feel comfortable with my matchup.
Goodman, go ahead. I think you were trying to say something before. I'm sorry.
Well, Houston they've won 10 of their last 11 in their first year in the Big 12. So they're in first place by a game over Iowa State right now, but they've won 10 of their last 11 in the toughest league in the country. And the only loss, I was there, it came at Fog Allen, where they got dominated. I mean, completely dominated by a Kansas team that played its A++ game. But again, there's no shame in losing it at Fog Allen. Everybody loses there. What Kelvin Samson has done in year one in the Big 12, and he had a team sort of, ready-made for the most part. But, again, they lost some guys via the transfer portal, via the NBA draft that they maybe didn't expect to lose. Marcus Sasser left, obviously. They lost, the freshman, the forward. The hell was his name? The lottery pick.
Jarris Walker.
Yeah, Jarris Walker, thank you. So they lost both them. They reload a little bit, but again, you're losing Arsenault, that was a kid that was like a top 50 recruit that you thought his sophomore year would make a jump and be maybe their second best offensive perimeter player. And that's where I give Shed a lot of credit, because he's just done what they've asked him to do his whole career. And now it's like, hey, we need more from you offensively. And he's giving it to him. With still doing all the other stuff at the highest level. Like RC said, he still guards at a high level. That hasn't given up. He still runs the team and makes people better. So I think Shed all around, I'm not sure there's anybody better all around. I still will stand by my guy, Tyler Kolek, but I think Jamal Shed's right there with him. I think Isaiah Stevens, who I saw the other day from Colorado State, has carried that team. Now they lost tonight, but man, he's like a video game to watch. He's so much fun.
Yep. The on-off splits for Jamal Shed on both the offensive end and the defensive end are absolutely staggering. I'm not going to sit here and read through the numbers, but just it's as big as anybody that you'll see in college basketball on both ends of the floor.
Thank you for watching the Field of 68. If you've enjoyed what you've seen here, hit that like button, share this link with your friends, or check out the description for some other places that you can consume Field of 68 content.